Well, I could have chosen a better day for it. It's very windy and threat of rain in the air, but we're walking the final part of the BCDR branch line from Dundrum to Newcastle. The coastal path runs from Ardley Road along the path of the old railway alignment until it reaches the old station in Dundrum village, 1.6 miles away. The railway was only single track here, and the path is narrow as a result, which on a windy day like I stupidly chose for filming makes the water of Dundrum Bay a little close for comfort at times. It's a short but pleasant walk, but to be honest there's little to mark this out as a former railway, and it's much like other coastal paths here in Northern Ireland. So enthusiasts won't have much to grab their attention en route, as there isn't much by way of railway ephemera, but there are a couple of things. The usual bits of old rail are much in evidence, one used as a gatepost, and further down the path, some used to strengthen this footbridge. So we're sort of halfway between where I parked the car and Dundrum. So there's a National Trust car park back that way. Can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but there's room for about 3 cars. That's where the pathway starts. You can go a bit further if you like, but I don't think it's actually in the alignment with the railway. So where we are is Dundrum Bay, I think. Pretty windswept, so we're probably about another 10 minutes away from Dundrum itself. The path alternates between woodland and more open landscapes, and it did make me think what a pleasant journey this must have been by train, although at the same time I was struck by how insignificant and fragile the track bed looked. Hard to believe this was the home of the county's main railway line. The path is true to the old alignment right until it reaches the village, whereupon it jinks around the sports pitches and runs beside the bay until you reach a park with picnic benches and this strange loud hailer sculpture that makes reference to the old railway. And as you leave the park, you pass this old track bed support and head to Main Street and the site of the old station. These apartments were once the goods shed. And here it is when it was younger, not to mention taller, in the 1960s. And that overhang in the top right of the photo is the platform canopy of the station building itself, now long since gone. And the single line was crammed into the space between these buildings, and there wasn't much room, as this photo from the 1920s facing in Newcastle direction shows. And that building in the background of the photo is still there. It was at the time the Downshire Arms Hotel, and is now partially a townhouse and partially the famous Mourne Seafood Bar. And running beside this building, or behind it, technically speaking, is the last stretch of the line, bordered by crumbling red bricks on both sides. I thought this might be something railway related, like the station master's house perhaps, but it's actually the hotel's former bathhouse, and that coat of arms is that of Lord Downshire, the hotel's patron and the builder of Dundrum Harbour. I then walked a tiny bit further along the bay and looked back at the station site from a different angle. At one point, according to the historical maps, there was a second goods shed just behind where I'm standing. Apparently Dundrum Station distributed a lot of coal and potatoes. Given that the pathway doesn't extend to Newcastle, that was the limit of my walk for the day. But, and not least because I'd parked my car at the start of the walkway, I was more than happy to retrace my steps.